Hello, all, and welcome to All Red. We are joined once again by my older brother, Matt, an avid Arsenal fan, ahead of this weekend's Premier League match week 9 clash against Arsenal. It's Liverpool v Arsenal at the Emirates. It's a massive, massive match for both teams. Matt, I'm going to throw it your way and just get your initial thoughts. How are you feeling ahead of this weekend's massive clash?
I'm a little banged up, to be
Yeah,
honest. I'm a
yeah,
little
you are.
banged up. I'm not feeling super optimistic. As you can see, I'm wearing orange. We have Halloween coming up next week, but I'm frightened. I'm scared
Mm,
because of all the injuries that we've had.
spooky.
It is a little spooky. Um, Mostly to our defense.
Yeah.
We have Jurian Timber, who is down. We have Tamayasu, who's down. As your audience probably is aware, William Saliba picked up the red card last week, so he will be out.
Yeah.
Perhaps most frightening is the absence of Calafiori, who mans the left side for us. Uh, Alexander Zinchenko has not done so well against Mohamed Salah. And
Yes.
so that's not great either. So, in addition to missing Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard, our defense is looking pretty ragged, especially on that left side,
Yeah.
which just does not bode very well for us.
So Saka, is he out for sure? I thought he was, and then I've also heard rumors that he's fit. Is he out, or do you know?
Yeah, I believe he's suffering from a hamstring injury. Those tend to just linger on and on and on. So
Yeah.
I was optimistic that he might get a little bit of run in the Champions League midweek. That did
Mm.
not happen. After the game, Arteta indicated that he did not have a good chance, or he didn't have a good feeling about him coming back against Liverpool. I'd put his chances at playing at about I don't know, 25 to 30% right now.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good, just because those hamstring injuries, they just tend to linger. So I would assume that he might be out another week.
Yeah. It is interesting thinking about all the missed players. Obviously, Liverpool we're missing Allison, we're missing Jota, but not nearly the firepower that Arsenal is missing. And at the same time, I'm not going to try to give you any false hope. Why would I want to do that? But from a Liverpool perspective, our attack has been actually pretty weak recently. We looked flat against Chelsea. Chelsea actually ran that game. We won it, but our attack was just floundering. We just beat was it RB Leipzig in the Champions League, but even that was not super convincing. It was a 1-0 win, and so I'm curious to see if the lack of defensive, stars for Arsenal results in Liverpool maybe having a little bit more freedom, because we just haven't seen that in recent weeks with them. And so, not to put you at ease, but our attack has not looked great.
Yep.
And yet, in a game like this, anything goes, right? I mean, I've made comments earlier this week about how Liverpool in the past, if they come up against a team, whether it's Arsenal or, Brentford or whatever, and there are big names missing, Liverpool can tend to play down and just say, oh, they're missing their best players. We can come out and we can relax a little bit. And so, I don't know if that'll happen under a new manager like arneslot. I hope not, but we'll see. If you had to, Matt, what would your score prediction? What does your heart of hearts tell you is going to be the result at the weekend?
I was looking at the what Vegas thinks, what the odds
Mm,
makers think, and
okay,
actually, I was surprised to find that they still favored Arsenal,
really?
despite the injuries, despite
Wow.
Saliba's absence. Arsenal still is slightly favored. Obviously, being on home turf at the Emirates has a lot to
Yeah,
do with that. Um, so I'll
that's
be honest.
interesting.
Yeah, it was a little surprising for me to see, but um, I would obviously be thrilled with a win. I would not be overly disappointed with a draw.
Hmm.
Uh, you don't like to drop points at home, and that's the issue. So if I
Yeah.
had to throw out a
If you were
score
putting money
projection,
on this, if you were betting on this game, what would you put your money down on?
if I was betting and I could pick any score line, I'm going to go ahead and say 2-2 draw.
Okay, 2-2. Wow, solid pick. I'm going 2-1. I'm gonna say 2-1 to Liverpool, and yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I think it's interesting to note that Liverpool have yet to draw a single match
Hmm.
under arneslot. We've not drawn. We've only lost one to Forest. Um, if you had to pick a key matchup in this one that you're either excited about or nervous about, what would you say there?
Well, I already mentioned the one I'm most nervous about.
Yeah.
If Calafiori is indeed out, which I believe he will be, if Zinchenko is manning the left, I don't like that matchup at all. So going back to our betting theme, if you wanted to put some money on a goal scorer, I would probably go with Salah.
Yeah.
Um, I am relatively bullish on the Arsenal attack, especially the left side of the attack, whether that's Leandro Trossard,
Yeah.
Gabriel Martinelli. They've both been playing really, really well,
Yeah.
and so so that bodes really well for us because those guys tend to score goals. Excuse me for a second. Sorry about that. Those guys tend to score goals, and Trossard has he just has a way of coming up with clutch
I know.
goals, and he does
Yeah.
it time and time again. So if we get into the late stages of the match and the game is tied, I like our odds of maybe squeaking out a victory due to some last minute heroics from Trossard.
Trossard is the one guy that, if he does start, he would be the one guy I would be most concerned about because he's one of those players that can just come out of nowhere and score a goal,
Yep.
and he can do it anywhere. I mean, he's scored some very good goals for Arsenal, and that's kind of what it's looking like. It's going to take to get past this Liverpool defense, a defense that's only let in, I think, 5 goals in all competitions so far, 12 matches. They've been very, very stalwart, and even with Kelleher back there, Kelleher is the type of guy that can save 1v1s. You know, if a striker's got a 1v1, he's probably going to save it. It's the strikes from 20 to 30 yards out that are perfectly placed that just any keeper is going to have trouble with. But Trossard's the guy that I'm like, all right, we need to make sure we're not letting him sneak through and get chances because I think he'll put him away. And I think part of Liverpool's defense has been very, very good. I think there are a few teams that probably should have scored a goal or two more than they did, but yeah, I think it's going to be an Arsenal attack against a Liverpool defense. That'll probably be the storyline. If we can shut you guys down, I would peg us to win. I think if you score 2 goals in this game, I don't see us winning it, just because you never know when the flip will be switched. But our attack just hasn't been free flowing. Just hasn't been super super duper great. But I
You
am
mentioned,
curious. Go ahead. Sorry.
you mentioned Kelleher. The other little bit of an X factor in this game could be if there are fouls in the box resulting in PKs. Our number one PK taker, Saka, out. Number 2, Odegaard, out. And then Trossard actually missed a PK midweek in the Champs League. So if that were to happen, I would almost favor Kelleher to potentially make a save in that situation too.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if there's a penalty or two with Anthony Taylor refereeing this one. I don't think either team is excited about seeing him at the helm for this one. So maybe he'll just cancel himself out. But The other thing I'm excited to watch in this one is the Declan Rice versus Gravenberch
Mm.
comparison. Those are the two guys that I think this season it's like, okay, Declan Rice had a great season last year, and now Gravenberch has just been ridiculous for Liverpool. And the argument against Gravenberch still is, well, he hasn't faced Arsenal, he hasn't faced City, he hasn't really come up against a super powerful midfield in opposition, and so this is, I think, it'll be his biggest test as our kind of new number six, that defensive midfielder, to say, all right, is he good enough to beat the likes of Declan Rice and the Arsenal attack? So I'm excited to see that one because he's passed every test so far, and he's been probably our best player this season. So
Yeah, and I think you need a good number six, a good holding or defensive midfielder in order to win the league.
oh yeah,
It doesn't seem like the teams that are very successful. They have those guys in place.
yep,
Declan Rice was absolutely clutch for us all last year, and continues to be good this year. And I
yeah.
mean, if we go on to win the title, or if Liverpool goes on to win the title, you can probably point back to those two guys as key cogs in the machine to get them there.
Yeah, and City without Rodri, I mean, he's a massive part of that team, and he's down likely for the entire season. So the door is open there, and I think, per usual, we can all agree that anyone but City, right? Anyone but City, and we hope that they start to drop points here.
I would just
Maybe.
request that if there's a last minute goal from Liverpool, maybe just don't throw a ball at our defenders' heads on the way back to the restart. I don't know. Call me old.
Ah, dude, I shouldn't be one to complain about what City have done already this year because Liverpool have been known to do that, especially under Klopp, the late goals, the late magic. But come on, guys, like, can we just defend in stoppage time against City, please? It's getting a little crazy.
It's garbage.
Yeah, it is garbage. But what's not garbage is this matchup. It's going to be super duper fun to watch. Um, there you have it. You've got our score predictions and our thoughts and our concerns. Let us know what you think in the comments. And as always, of course, up the Reds.
Yeah, of course.
What's your saying? Come
Uh,
on, Gunners.
yeah, come on, you Gooners.
Shoot the cannons.
North London forever.
All right. Okay.